So how do you go about creating an intro and an outro for your podcast? So it's a highly debated topic, and I want to break it down and actually make it as simple as possible. This is one of the few videos that I'm actually going to be quite prescriptive because I don't want you to get caught up in it too much. So let's start first with the outro. Now, the benefit of this is that you've already come up with your outro without knowing it. So your outro is going to have three different components to it. Essentially going to have two things that you already come up with. So you're going to have your CTAs, and then you're going to end with your catchphrase. So essentially you're going to list the three CTAs one after another in quick succession, and then you're going to end with a catchphrase. You can have music playing softly underneath this if you so wish, and if you don't wish to have music playing underneath, that's fine. But make sure right before this, that you thank your listeners and you appreciate them and tell them that the show would be nothing without them, because this is the truth. Without your listeners, your podcast doesn't exist. It goes back to the old saying of, if there's a tree that falls in a forest and there was nobody there to witness it, did the tree fall at all? So essentially, your listeners make your podcast for you. So genuinely, from the bottom of your heart, thank them. Tell them when your next episode is going to be about. Follow that swiftly with your CTA and then your catchphrase. And that is it. That is your outro, done and dusted. Now, when it comes to your intro, a large number of people and podcasts actually believe that an intro needs to start with intro music. I think it probably is because we associate the word intro with intro music. I personally, however, believe that the purpose of the intro is specifically to tease your audience. You are going to have your largest number of drop-offs within your first minute and a half. And what the job of the intro is essentially to make sure that that doesn't happen. So you have to take your podcast, your entire podcast, and break it down into a 30-40 minute, snackable piece on what you're going to be speaking about, what people should be expecting, why they should be tuning in. And you need to tell people a little bit about that within the first 30 seconds. If you're doing something on true crime or horror, you can essentially talk about how a person was found murdered in a field and there were crop circles that were around them. They had been missing for the last 7 days and they just appeared out of nowhere in this field with crop circles around them. And it's been a case that's baffled everybody. And that's what we're going to discuss today. And just leave them with that and leave them wanting more. And then essentially end your intro with your primary CTA, which is asking people to subscribe to your newsletter because they like that form of content. Now, after this, if you manage to do this successfully enough, then essentially your listeners should not have left your show. Immediately after this, once again, you can choose to have about 3 to 5 to 10 seconds of music that's playing so that it's a nice little break after you've given them that punch of an intro, and then you get into the meat of your podcast and go to the main body of your podcast. So that's pretty much it with regards to your intro and your outro. I want to keep this as simple and prescriptive as possible. Your outro you've already created. Thank people, CTAs, and catchphrase. Intro, the only purpose of an intro is to tease people. Do not go into long 1 minute songs or jingles that people essentially wish that they could skip like they do on Netflix. You want to tease them in the first 30 seconds so that they're stuck to your show, and then ask them for one quick thing, which is to subscribe to your newsletter. Follow that up with a little bit of music if you so wish, and then go into the meat of your podcast. Now, I know a few of you are wondering, how will I actually take all of this, my entire show, which is 45 minutes long, or 30 minutes long, or 20 minutes long, and break it down into 30-second, 45-second intro piece? This is where the beauty of generative AI can come in. So take the transcript of your show and go to any generative AI tool of your choice. You can use ChatGPT, of course. You can use copy.ai and specifically ask for this prompt. Ask the platform that you want to create a podcast intro that's 30 seconds long from the following transcript, and just paste the transcript right there and let Gen AI do its magic, and it'll give you that 30-second intro, and then you're done and dusted. Try to keep your ask consistent episode after episode, right after teaser, so that people know to expect it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's easier than you guys thought, I'm sure. And you can see your podcast is already coming together. So super excited to move forward. Let's do this.